I mean, the thing that surprised me is just the range of responses that COVID seems to be eliciting in Americans. So, for example, I was in contact with one person who literally refused to leave their house. They're
Right.
like, no, I just will not go out. I'm immune compromised, whatever. There's absolutely no way I'm going to leave my house. And that was in DC, which again has, compared to some other places in the US, relatively low, case numbers. But then, I went to West Virginia, and I maybe saw one person wearing a mask when I was in West Virginia. And, I went to a local shop and I was wearing a mask, and I said, oh, you guys obviously not too worried about COVID. And they said, oh, yeah, well, what will be, will be. And I said, do you know anyone who's been affected? I asked this guy if he knew anyone who'd been affected. And he said, oh, yeah, I've had a couple of friends die from the virus.
Wow.
And I was like, okay. no one's wearing a mask. Like, okay, whatever, And then, like up in New York, for example, almost everyone's wearing a mask outside all the time, and perhaps that's because, because the city had such a high infection rate earlier this year that they've kind of been shocked into it. But yeah, my experience was that people just had vastly different approaches to it all. And like even flying there, we were flying and there were people literally wearing boiler suits, like you see the forensic investigators after a grisly murder.
Yeah.
They were wearing those.
Wow.
With like full face masks and everything. But then there were other people who weren't even wearing masks. Yeah, so it was quite bizarre. But we were quite paranoid, my cameraman and I, for a number of reasons. I mean, first of all, we just didn't want COVID, because you don't want COVID. Second of all, we knew, like if we had contracted it early in the trip and had to stand down for a long period in a hotel, that would be like a massive waste of resource and money and that sort of thing. And so we were, we kind of had systems developed from the word go. And we'd done this massive health and safety plan. You can imagine what it was like to even get the sign off from work.
Yeah.
And but we did we were just, we just hand sanitized all the time. We had hand sanitizer in the car, hand sanitizer, wipes everywhere. Every time we'd go and interview someone, we'd get back to the car, start from zero, wipe everything down with hands, all that sort of stuff. But you can still see, for all of that, you could still see how there were chinks in the armor. I don't think human beings are wired to be 100% alert to that kind of unseeable risk 24/7. And, so even with all of the protections we were taking, and we had N95 masks up the wazoo and all that sort of thing, you could still see just a little mistake and you stuff up.
Well, if you are putting the N95 mask up your wazoo, that could be one of the mistakes, Jack, just in case. Maybe next time.
Yeah, I misread the instructions. But